So that really set the wheels in motion for me to start looking at the relationship as it had formed and figure out what was going on and how I was going to get myself out of it.
What would you tell other women about domestic violence relationships to help them? What would you tell them?
The problem with people in domestically violent relationships is that there's not a lot that someone on the outside could tell them. You have to find someone who has a similar enough story to what yours is, to where you can relate, where you can find those parallels and be able to figure out where your life is and see that mirror as it's happening. So many fallacies happen whenever a parent comes in and they say, you know, this person's hurting you, or they're abusing you, or whatever's happening, and they throw in their 2 cents. It makes the victim close their ears even more and back up into that relationship even further. So honestly, as a survivor talking to a victim, I want to learn about what makes them tick and why they're there, because honestly, there's no way that I can ever be in their shoes.
Wow. Is there anything else that you would like to share with me, to the audience?
Yeah. The interesting thing about this relationship that I was in was that I think the reason why I stayed in it for so long was that I felt guilty. I had cheated on a previous spouse with this man, and he tried to blackmail me and tell me that he was going to tell on me if I didn't go ahead and come forward and tell on myself. I was smart enough to tell on myself, but then in response didn't have anywhere to go. A lot of times that I've met women who have been in similar situations is that when we don't have anywhere to go, we turn to the abuser and we have them take us in, which is counterproductive, but unfortunately what seems like the easiest route, because it's always that honeymoon stage. It's always the part in a relationship where they are so they're just so in love with you, you know. They'll go through your closet and they'll help you pick out what you're going to wear, and you think it's extremely sweet. And then that turns into them pulling all of your clothes out of the closet and accusing you of going out on dates with other people, or accusing you of sleeping with somebody else, to wanting to know where you were, to you taking pictures of your odometer, to controlling the finances, to not allowing you to purchase anything even at the thrift store for yourself or for someone else, as long as it's, you know, not directly related to them. So complete and utter control of your life, and you just fall into it. And in so many ways, I understood what a domestically violent relationship was, that it wasn't just about getting hit. It wasn't just about getting yelled at or cursed at, which all those things happened. But for me, I penalized myself by staying in that relationship because I felt guilty for the reason why I was there in the first place. I felt like it was my fault that I put myself in a position to be with somebody who was as evil as what he was. And the reality is that that's never our fault. That is never the victim's fault. The position that they are put in is not a position that leaves them in power. And the other side of that, instead of guilt, is I need to stay because I have children, because they have children, because we have children together. And what if he's treating me like this? What's he going to do to his own kids? But realizing that there is, again, you are powerless in figuring out how to deal with that person. You can't control them just as much as they can't control you, even though they're trying so hard. And so it finally just came to a head where I packed my car with as many things and I drove 1,050 miles home.
Woo! What a woman!
It was a 15-hour drive, and there were tears the entire way, but it was one of those things that I knew that once I got to the Oklahoma border, that I would be safe.
Yes, ma'am.
So there I am again.
Wow. You say wow, wow, and wow. Goodness. Well, I see you with a big tiara on your head. That's what I see. I see you as a princess. You are so radiant. Just so radiant. And might I add, compliment on your dress again. Just so, you're so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm so appreciative. Now,
Yes.
let's get some exciting stuff here. I mean,
Yes.
this has been exciting, you sharing.
Uh-huh.
Now, chunk it down, baby, and tell those girls out there, what are those baby steps to getting up and the encouragement? You know, you've said a lot of things. Tell us a little bit more about getting that confidence,
Right.
and moving that swing, getting it going.
Yeah.
Share with these ladies out there. What do you have to say about that?
In order to get out of where you are, you have to first acknowledge that you're even there. And by watching the videos on the website, you're at least figuring out that you're there. The second step is to figure out who you can talk to who is safe. Find somebody who has gone through this before, someone who you perceive as being stronger than you. Another woman in your life that can help you get through these things. And it doesn't have to be the one closest to you. It doesn't have to be your mom. It doesn't have to be your sister. It can be, you know, the lady in the grocery store that asks you every time that you come in with a black eye if you're okay, you know, if something's all right. You can find those people in your life and position yourself with them. Have them help you, because there is help out there, and there are people that are willing to take you in and help support you and guide you to those services that you need to be able to get yourself out of that situation. And then the third thing is that you have to get out. You cannot change your abuser. You are a survivor the moment that you step out of that situation and you determine that you are never going back again. And as long as you can convince yourself that you cannot change that other person, you're free to let yourself be changed.
Woo! Well said. Well said. Thank you very much. I am greatly appreciative to you. Women Empowerment Solutions is exceedingly empowered from you to the audience. And I just say, wow, all over again. You're awesome. Can I give you a hug?
Yes.
Blessings to you.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you for having us. Yes.